You're not as logical as you believe. You're not as in control as you assert when everything around you crumbles. Deep inside, you're aware of this. Even if you're hesitant to acknowledge it, a part of you still functions on ancient, impulsive, dark patterns. A part you'd rather ignore because it's uncomfortable, painful, and unsettling. Yet, it governs you. Every time you lash out for no clear reason, every time you avoid a tough conversation, every time you make the same emotional blunders repeatedly, there it is, your shadow. This isn't just a poetic figure of speech. It's a psychological reality. Carl Jung didn't discuss it just to seem deep. He spoke about it because he realized something most of the world still overlooks. You are not only what you reveal, but also what you conceal, and what you deny controls you. It lingers unnoticed, a constant murmur in the back of your mind, influencing everything. Your relationships, your choices, your addictions, your silences. The shadow never rests. And most perilously, it doesn't require your consent to operate. It just needs you to continue ignoring it. And why can't you stop undermining yourself? Because you believe that merely thinking positively, reciting affirmations, or reading self-help books designed more for comfort than awakening is sufficient. However, the harsh truth is you can't heal what you refuse to confront. And there, your shadow waits. You've been misled to think that freedom means eradicating all negativity within you. That's false. It's not about destroying your shadow, but integrating it. The more you flee from it, the stronger it gets. The more you deny its existence, the more it manipulates you. Ever wonder why you respond so angrily when challenged? Why you feel anxious when alone and quiet? Why you experience unexplained sadness at moments when you should feel fine? It's not you. It's the part of you that you've hidden, suppressed, buried, but that never vanished. Jung put it succinctly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. Consider this. Every time you think the world is against you, that life is unfair, that the universe overlooks you, it's actually your shadow pulling the strings, disguised as coincidence. Here's the irony. The more you try to seem balanced, the more unstable you feel inside, because you strive to display light, yet deny your darkness. Without darkness, there is no light. Without shadow, there is no depth. You're caught in a superficial version of yourself. You become an actor in your own life. The shadow isn't the enemy. It's the part of you that formed in defenselessness when you were hurt, when you learned to cope by repressing. It's that wounded child, that frustrated teenager, that adult who keeps saying, "This is just who I am. I can't change." But you can, once you choose to stop running. Integrating the shadow is tough. It demands raw courage. It means sitting with yourself and staying put, even when you feel so uncomfortable you want to flee. It means acknowledging your jealousy, your envy, your need for control, your destructive impulses, and not judging yourself for them. Because as long as you judge, you continue to split your soul into fragments. Emotional maturity isn't about smiling when things are good. It's about looking inward when everything is falling apart. It's about admitting, yes, this is also me, and that doesn't make me less valuable. Freedom emerges when you stop reacting and start responding, when your actions are choices, not impulses, when you can observe anger without embodying it, when you can acknowledge fear without succumbing to it, when you can recognize pain without using it as armor. But such awareness doesn't come from brief meditations or cliched motivational quotes. It comes when you bravely enter your inner darkness and, instead of fleeing, choose to understand it. Your shadow holds the blueprint of your story. Every denied part carries a message that needs listening, and if ignored, that message manifests as symptoms. Anxiety, insomnia, failed relationships, an unfulfilled life. You can't live fully if you deny half of yourself. You can't truly love if you suppress your most human aspects. For those who don't fully love themselves, inflict silent punishments on themselves. And this punishment manifests as demands, perfectionism, relationships where you constantly seek what you don't give yourself. When you integrate your shadow, you stop seeking approval. You stop fearing rejection. You start acting from authenticity, not necessity. And that is powerful. People who have faced themselves, who have reconciled with their darker parts, exude something different. They don't need to raise their voices. They don't need to persuade. Their presence alone speaks volumes. Not because they are flawless, but because they are genuine. And in a world full of pretenses, being genuine is revolutionary. You didn't come here to please. You didn't come to conform. You came to awaken, and awakening is painful because initially you feel broken, incomplete, confused. But within that confusion lies the seed of your true self, the one unafraid of darkness because it no longer denies it. You don't need to eliminate your shadow. You need to acknowledge it, listen to it, engage with it. You need to understand why it exists, what it protects, what it reveals. Only then can you stop being at its mercy and start living with it in harmony. And when that happens, everything changes. Your way of loving changes. Your way of relating to yourself changes. Your approach to life changes. Because you are no longer a puppet of suppressed emotions. You are a conscious being who makes choices. The shadow doesn't vanish, but its power to undermine you diminishes. It becomes an ally, a keeper of your truth. And that is true freedom. Don't wait for life to force you to look inside. Don't wait for a crisis to shatter you before you begin to understand yourself. The time to look inward is now, not to destroy what you have been, but to embrace it, because only what is embraced can transform. Integrating the shadow isn't a destination. It's a journey, a continual process. Every day unveils a new layer, every encounter an opportunity to know yourself better. There are no shortcuts, no easy fixes, just you facing yourself. And yes, it's daunting, but it's also empowering. Because when you cease battling against yourself, all that energy is liberated. And with it comes clarity, focus, tranquility. Look inside. Don't conceal. The shadow doesn't seek to destroy you. It urges you to awaken. And when you do, you'll realize you were never weak. You were merely asleep. Wake up before life pulls you along unknowingly. The shadow is not your adversary. It is the neglected part of your soul longing to return. And only you can open the door. Do it. Now, no one may have told you this directly, but you feel it every day. You are tired of yourself, not of the world, not of work, not of others, of yourself. That version you mechanically repeat, that smiles on cue, that remains silent when it burns inside, that conforms even when it hurts. You have become your own captor, but you disguise it as maturity, as control, as success. Meanwhile, the shadow smirks, because it doesn't need permission to manifest. It doesn't request entry. It appears just when you least expect it, in a shout you can't suppress, in a choice you can't explain, in a relationship you persist in, even though it drains you. Carl Jung understood, what you don't make conscious becomes your destiny, and most unknowingly live trapped in a script they didn't author, a script dictated by unhealed wounds, emotions that have decayed within, traumas disguised as personality. But there's something even more sinister than your personal shadow, the collective shadow, that invisible system of beliefs ingrained in your being. Ideas not inherent to you, but that you echo as if they were your own, as if they were true. Notions like vulnerability equals weakness. Your feelings don't matter. If you control yourself, you are strong. Inherited falsehoods, lies you absorbed so early they became your way of breathing. And now you live by them. You react from them. You suffer because of them. Have you ever wondered why you can't fully relax, even when everything seems all right? Why there's always a tension, as if something is about to snap, though you can't pinpoint what? That's not just anxiety. It's repression. It's the collective shadow speaking through your body. You've been conditioned to neglect yourself, to prioritize duty over desire, to conceal the uncomfortable, the visceral, the chaotic. But all of that remains, and it manifests in ways you can't even fathom. It makes you want to vanish without reason. It makes you distrust love, success, yourself, because deep down, a part of you believes it doesn't deserve anything good. That when life presents something positive, it tries to sabotage it. Not because you're foolish, not because you don't desire it, but because your shadow still reigns. And here's the toughest part. The shadow doesn't always destroy you with outbursts. Sometimes it seduces you with logic. It convinces you that you're being responsible when, in reality, you're just avoiding.